Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away and it's new build day, and this one has been anticipated for so long. I'm going to be building the Agora Models release, build the Apache AH-64 helicopter. You're going to love this, and I tell you, pack one has got so much to do. Unbelievable. This is probably the most to do in the first pack I think I've ever done. But if you do want to get this for yourself, it's available for Agora Models, and I have put the link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen. Let me show you the brochure. So this is what we're building, a 1/24 scale AH-64 Apache helicopter. And look at all the stuff that we've got on there. In flight or stationary, we can have it. We've got decals to put on. We've got a full set of maintenance platforms, a whole diorama thing going on. And all of these can be linked in by magnets. The rotors turn, it illuminates, it does everything. Check it out. Obviously, all the features and benefits that this does come with is on that Agora Models website. Now, remember, when you order a model, you'll now be part of the Agora Advantage Club. So that's all detailed on the site as well. And just like all of the Agora Models builds, we do have a poster of what we're actually building. Now, I had the luxury of seeing this, I had the joy of seeing this at Telford last year. Amazing model, and I did show a demonstration for it, and you can see that right there. But I'm going to jump straight into it to show you how good pack one actually is. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So, new build day, going to start with stage one. This is what stage one looks like. It comes in a blister pack looking like this. Let's get this open. And we don't have to cut this one this time, as you can see, actually held in just by these stickers behind. So let's just cut them off. And there we go. There's the full tray of everything we got. It's really heavy, so I'm just going to take out this large fuselage section. Tell you now, that is fully metal. Very heavy indeed. Okay, so the first thing to do to start this build is we need this lens, which is going to be housing an LED light. That's what that's looking like. Let's get the LED out. Straighten this wire. So I'm holding that here and then pulling it tight. I'm not pulling where the resistor is, which would be in this sheath section just here. And quite simply, just pushing this into there like that. I can just put that to one side. So, next section we're going to need looks just like this. This is just going to go onto this main fuselage section here. It actually comes through to the other side and sits in the cavity that we've got there. So it's looking, let me just get my tweezers to help me manipulate this round into place like that. So that's not going to fall out, but that's what it looks like from that side. Next part I need looks just like this. That's going to be going into the hole that we see there. Just line that up. And each side of this is going to be fitting onto either side of the part we just put in. There's some little holes there, so I'm just going to push that in to line the holes up. Just like that. And I've got these EP silver screws here. Need two of them to screw this into place. So one this side, just like that, and one on the other side here. Excellent. Next thing I need is in this little bag here. It's a tiny bearing. Get that out. And it is directional what way I'm putting this in. So I want it so the bearings are facing upwards towards me. I'm gently putting that just on top, just balancing it on there for now. To hold that into place, I've got this cap here, which is just going to go over the top of all of these here and push that down. There we go. That's now locked into place. Let me show you how that looks. Now I've got these two details here that are going to go in. So when you put these in, you will notice that they'll only go in one way because this is slightly wider than the one we've put there. They are directional as well. Now I haven't glued these into place. That one's quite tight. This one's probably needs a tiny bit of glue. Now I'm guessing these are going to need just a tiny bit of glue. So I'm going to put literally the tiniest amount of glue on this. Get this into place. And there you go. That's how that looks. Put that to one side. Okay, we're now going to be starting to do the rotor. So to do that, this is the tail rotor. We're going to need these two parts here first. And basically, I'm just going to be pushing this down the shaft here. And there's some little indents that's going to fit this into place here. But I do need to hold that into place. So I'm going to use an AP screw. Got that in this bag here. This is a silver flat top screw, just going through the top. And this is going to hold this into place. I'm then going to be taking this base looking just like that here, and I need to put this in, but there is a certain way round that it has to go. So I'm going to get it in, make sure it's rotated the way it needs to be. Now one side's got a little thick sort of lug on it, the other one's got a thin one, so when you put it in it can really only go in one way, but that's looking pretty good, just like that. Now I've got two kinds of these shafts. We've got long ones, we got short ones, as you can see there. It's the long ones I want first, and it's the thinner end I want. And holding it like this, probably best on the top camera, I'm going to be putting this in between the bracket just here. So it's on just like that. Once I've got one in place, I'm going to take the one on the other side, another long one, and put that in the other side here. Just a case of pushing them in, and then they lock themselves into place just like that. Perfect. In the other two, same way, I'm going to be putting the smaller ones. So one in there, and just put one in the other side. So once they're all in, they should look like that. So hopefully on one of the cameras you can see the orientation of the smaller ones to the bigger ones there, looking like that. Okay, we're going to take the first rotor, which is this one here. It's going to be going this way round, and it's going to go into this section just here. Let me get it the right way round. There we go, this way round here. So that's the first rotor in. Then I take this short section here, bring that up. I'm going to be screwing that to the rotor here. And I'm screwing that in with one of the EP screws. That's those really tiny ones. And this will ensure that that rotor is nice and straight. So we've got one in this side. You don't have to put this tight. It's just enough to hold this into place. And I'm going to do one just on the other side here. And when they're in, they should look like that. Okay. Then it's just a case of taking the next rotor, putting that on top, and again clipping that into the two silver bits there, just like that. Once again, I'm going to be screwing these into place here with those tiny EP screws. Now, if you want to make this easy for yourself, make sure that the pivot point here, the grey sections are actually clipped into place, and it will stop it moving around. There we go, look, that's the tail prop completed. And with these three sections here, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now, if you haven't got a screwdriver, they do provide a screwdriver in this stage, as you can see. That moves us swiftly on to stage 2. This is everything we've got here. Let's get this open. And there you go, there's everything we got in here. Look at this great big rotor blade here. So we're going to be working on one of the seats first, and that's looking just like this. I need the belts, so I'm going to get them out. So what I actually need is 2 belts like this. Then I've got this little plastic section here looking just like that. Now these do have little pins behind them, so I am going to need to just drop a tiny bit of glue onto this, and I'm going to get this pushed into the underside of this seat. Just like that. Do the same with the other side. And then finally, just with this back section here, with the pointed section facing down. So it's going to go this way. I now need the back of the seat, which looks like this. And in the channels here, I need to put some glue. Got some glue already loaded on my brush here. Just brush that on. And I'm going to be sticking what we just created into that section there. Just like that. Now on the other side of these belts, I'm just going to be putting another little bit of glue just on the end there. That's going to go into the holes that we've got on the side of this chair frame. So one this side and do the same on the other side. So that's now looking like this. I've then got this shoulder strap belt here, which is going to go through the hole at the back with the little tab facing down. So it's pulled through. And then once again, a little bit of glue on here. And then put this into place into the hole just at the back here. Now you can see we've got 2 holes here. So once again, Little bit of glue just on these belts here and the other side, and get these into place as well. That is quite tricky to do because it's rubbery, it's quite flexible. But I'm just going to hold that there for a second. There you go. That's how that looks. Now I've got this tiny detail here, which is going to need some glue. Tweezers are definitely your friend on this build, and this is going to be going in this way, just into the larger hole in the seat there. Perfect. And then again, just another little bit of glue just on that rubber section there at the front, and that's going to go into the hole in front. So there you go, that's how that's looking. I've then got the back of the seat to put in, which again means just putting some glue just on the lugs here. 1 or 2, only a little bit. And this is going to go in with the wider width towards the top. So that fits in like that. Then I've got the sides of the chair to put in. As you can see, we've got some detailing on that already. These can just be pushed in, I believe. So one there, put one on the other side as well. Excellent, they do hold in, whoops, quite tight as you can see there. And then I've got this cover here, which is just going to go into these 2 holes. I'm going to see if this fits to see if I need glue. I might just put a little bit of glue just in that side there because that's very loose. So now that's like that. Okay, so the chair's done. We've just got to put the frame on for the chair now. So that looks like this. This is metal and it's going to go into these 4 holes just at the bottom here with the tabs. So again, I'm just going to be putting some glue just on these tabs so I can get this into place. And then on the top, I've got this piece here, which is just going to go into the 2 lugs just at the top there. So again, a little bit of glue on this and push that into place as well. Now I need these tiny sections here. These are going to be going on top of the points just here and here, slightly facing inwards. So again, I'm going to put some glue onto this, get this into place, and I'll show you exactly how it's supposed to look. They do actually have a D-shaped pattern on them, so they can only go in one way. But as you can see, that's how they look when they're pointing in. Excellent. Okay, so that's the seat completed. Let's put that to one side. I'm going to be taking up this great big rotor blade now. Check that out. It's massive. And as you can see, we've got these 2 little pivots for the rotor blade to go on, but I want the one that's labelled with a number 1, which is this one just here. So one's going to be going on the bottom there, and the other one that we got here will be going on top. Just like that. That's looking good. Okay. So that's how it's going to look when they're both on together. I've got some pins here. I'm going to be pushing these through both of these points here. So let me get these off the sprue. I can see this being quite fiddly, but let's get the pin through first. That's one in. And just do the other one. They do hold quite well once you've got these lined up. And that's the second one in. So as you can see, that is how that's looking. Excellent. Put that to one side. I'm going to be attaching the tail rotor. So we've got a little motor here. Tiny motor actually. Check out the size of that. It's about 1 centimetre. Get this open. Feed the plug through this side here, where the tabs are. So the motor is going to be coming out the other side. And I want to seat the motor in there just like that. So to me, I've got the red and the black wires. Red to the left, black to the right. I've got a cover that's going to go over the top of this to hold that motor into place, just like this. Bring over the fuselage again. And I'm going to be putting this into place just over the 2 lugs here. It's going to fit in just like that. It should go in both sides like that. It's quite tight when that's in there. Now that's going to be held in with these flanged BM screws. So I'll just get these screwed in. I am going to use my bigger screwdriver, making sure I'm not pressing on those wires. You don't want them to break away from the motor. Perfect. So the motor is in place just into there. And all I want to do is take the rotor shaft now. I'm going to be pushing that onto the motor. So it should click in just like that. It's locked itself in there. No problems at all. Now we get to test this now. I love this bit. So I need 2 AAA batteries. So one in there, one in here. I'm going to be plugging in that motor, making sure that leads out the way. And that plugs into the big plug just at the back here. I am just greasing up the base of this rotor because it was not moving as smooth as I wanted it to. So let me put that back in now. Now after greasing it, you might need to play around with the screws at the back just to get that into the perfect position so that can rotor just like that. But that's brilliant. That's the tail rotor working. Very happy with that. Let's unplug this. Put that to one side. And that does give me a chance now just to use the test board again, just into this small socket here to test this LED. As you can see, that comes on no problems at all. That's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 3, we're going to be starting, by the look of it, the cockpit. Let's get this open. There's a lot to do in just this one pack. And the first thing I'm going to want is this part of the cockpit looking like this, but I want it this way round. And I need part 3F, which is in this plastic bag here. That's just going to slot into this ingress here. We have got 2 holes for 2 lugs, so it's a case of just putting it in an angle like this and then pushing them onto that lug. Let's make sure that's pushed all the way down. Excellent, so that's in like that. Bring over the main body of the cockpit now. Now this, again, is all metal, looking like that. And I'm going to be wanting to put this back section now into 2 holes at the back. It's held in with BP screws. They're the flange black screws again. And just get them screwed in from the back. Need 2 of these. And now to put that to one side. I now need these 2 little sections here. And we do have 2 lugs which are going to go into these sections. They are directional as well. So one's going to go in this way just like that. They are going to need to be glued in. So let me touch some glue on this. Now because you've got one side which is a large lug and the other side's small lug, it does help you know which way to put these in. Now these are actually pedals, so I do want to glue these into place. So this one here has got a flat blade at the back of it, which is going to go into the left side, which means this one is going to go onto the right side. So that's looking just like that there. Now I've got these inner trim panels to put in place. They do have lugs on the back, and these are going to just push into the points just on the side. So I get these lined up. That's one in, just on that side. Do the same on the other side here. Once again, a bit of glue just into this section just here for this little, I'm guessing it's some sort of computer keyboard system. Again, that's clipped in there. I'm sure people are going to tell me in the comments what all of these parts are, because I haven't got a clue. I then need the yoke, which once again I'm just going to be putting some glue just at the bottom here. That's going to go in with the white dots facing me, but let me just push this in to get it into position. There we go. That's that into place. I've got a panel which is going to go into this side here, so I'm just putting some glue just on that side. That panel looks like this. Let's get that in. Excellent. Again, we've got another control arm which is going to be going through the hole at the back here. It's going to hook over the hole we've just got at the side just there. Now to keep that into place, I've got glue either side of this for this control panel here as well. Going to hold that into place. So that's how that's looking now. And then the fun part, we get to put the seat in. That's going to go right into the holes in the ingress just down there. Gently put that in, perfect. And it's held in from the other side with just one AM screw. So I'll screw that in through the hole here. Excellent. There we go. That's the seating. That's the cockpit. Semi-done at the moment. Look at that. That's all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage, stage 4 here, we're going to be doing the co-pilot instrument panel. Let's get this open. Again, lots of tiny parts in this one. Okay, so we need the test board first because I'm going to be testing these lights that I've got here. So once again, just plugging this into this smaller port at the back. As you can see, these green lights, which they are, have come on no problems. Okay, now this is going to go behind an instrument panel here. So what I want to do is take this board. I want to mount that this way round so the lights are facing up. Perfect, and I'm screwing that in with CP screws. You don't want to put these in too tight. You don't want to crack the board. I want to take this section of the control panel then and put this clear lens in. It goes in just like that. Then I want to pass this cable, which is labelled C, through the hole at the bottom here. So I want to get this plug through here, just like that. There you go. Pull that through. And we're in a position now to put both of these together. Making sure I'm not pinching any wires. But there you go, pushing that all together. So that is how that looks. Now I've got some instrument clusters to put on each side. So this is the first one, which is going to go in here. I'll just do a trial fit, which is going to go in there. It is going to need to be glued. So let me just put some glue on that now. Then on the other side, I've got this detail. Again, a little bit of glue just at the top. I'll put that one in. Excellent. And now I've got some decals to put on. So let me get some decal solution together. What I can actually do is just put some water in this trough here. So I'm not using too much. Make sure I've got a cloth, and I want to put the decal that looks like a radar screen just into that first. Let that soak. I'm going to put in this smaller one in here as well. And I'll slide these decals on. So let's just pick up this first one we dropped in. Not going to need long in there. Just to see if it moves on the glued back here, which it does. It's just a case then of putting it on its edge, putting a little bit of the liquid just onto that section, putting this on, make sure it's round the right way. And that's the first one on. Excellent. Now before I dab that, I'm going to put the second one on as well. This is going on what looks like a radio. So I'm soaking up the excess with my cotton bud here. And I'm just going to put the last one over that last edge there. Excellent. So that's how they should look when they're done. Just going to let that dry. Now bring over these two sections, and I do have lenses for these as well. Put the lenses into the back of these, putting these over the top of those screens there. So this one's going to go in here. I haven't glued them. They do keep themselves in quite good. Put another lens in this side. And these are the square looking lenses. There is two other lenses in this kit, so don't confuse them. But that fits perfectly in there. And again, it's just a case of putting this over the top, pushing that in. It does hold itself pretty good. Matter of fact, that one probably does need a tiny bit of glue. I've then got this one here, which again, I've got a tiny lens for this one, which has cutouts at the top. Very hard to show you, actually. Yeah, this is really hard to get this lens in, I have to say, even though it does have notches on it. There you go. That is the front lens into place just there. Now what I want to do is on this lens that I've got just here, I'm going to want to put the last of the decal on. So I'm just going to soak that for a second. It's basically got a little map on, this has. And then let that dry, and then I'm going to be putting this so that the transfer will be between the pane of glass we've just put in and then this one here. That's very fiddly, but when it's done, it should look like that. Just going to then push this onto this base section here. It's quite a tight fit, and then this whole section here is going to go into this center console. Now, there's only one way this can go in, because there's 3 tabs on this, you see. Now I am going to want to put some glue just on this back area here, and that is now how that's looking. So cable C now, if I just bring this over here, it's going to go through the large hole just behind the yoke that we put in at the bottom. Just like this. Pull that through, and then I'm just going to be putting this into place just here on top. And I want one DP screw to put that into place. And what I'm going to do, because that is the end of that stage now, is once I've screwed this in, I'm going to power it up and see what it looks like. So let's plug this in, and there you go. That looks pretty impressive. But that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that massive first pack. So what did you think of that? That was absolutely crazy. I mean, look at the detail on that. It looks absolutely brilliant. Obviously, we've done that, and we have done the tail rotor section as well. Pretty cool, huh? Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.